we're going to be doing almost exclusively like craft building engineering today. So if you're looking for a mission to go out into space today, it's not going to happen. We're purely building a craft today. So if that's not your thing, if you're not into the process of building crafts, sorry, I'll see you in episode 100 because that's what I have to plan today. So Charlie, you've inspired me to really knuckle down and stream KSP. Have you auto-hosted on Twitch as well? Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I've been thinking about like doing streams for KSP on Twitch instead of here because I feel like if you want to grow something, you need to just keep feeding it. But at the same time, KSP is like that's the YouTube's thing, right? Like that's where I got my start on YouTube. So that's where I'm gonna keep this one game. I think I'm gonna keep right here because I think that's probably healthy. I don't know. Well, you lost me already. All you're doing is... I don't know why I lost you. Restream.io, you can stream to Twitch and YouTube as well. I can't. I cannot use Restream.io. It is against my contract. Craft building. Actually, some of my favorite stuff. Well, there you go. Okay, so today I have a goal, all right? I have a goal for episode 100. Like, this is... It's like a spoiler alert, okay? But that's what you're gonna get behind the scenes streams that you're gonna get. You're gonna get spoilers. That's the way it is. I have a goal, and that goal is we're gonna launch a craft to Erlem, right? We have to do that contract we have because the contract, if you look at this right here, the contract we have is here. Create a satellite network for coverage for Erlem. Now our launch window is like really close. It's like right now. Okay, so like I basically need to keep in these buildings to build things and not be in the world space at all because the more time I drain, I might lose my launch window. So basically that's what I'm looking for here. So we have Polta, Preax, Wall, and we have to go around Erlem as well. So what I want to do today is I want to send everything we need to put the satellite network around Erlem. I'm going to talk about some of the challenges with that and how I'm hoping to fix it. And I think you guys are going to be okay with the way I'm going to fix it. I'm going to need to hire some more Kerbals because I'm pretty sure I'm going to send Kerbals to Erlem. That sounds really weird, I know. But I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll see if I can pull it off. Let's see. I enjoy your content. Oh, cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks. What contract with who? With Twitch. As a Twitch affiliate, you cannot stream any. As a Twitch affiliate, you cannot have. There's a line in your contract, a clause in your contract that says that anything you put to Twitch cannot be on YouTube within 24 hours of it being on Twitch. So if I stream anything to Twitch, nothing I streamed on Twitch can be found on any other network anywhere for at least 24 hours after that stream. So that's why I can't do Restream, because that would mean they're both on there simultaneously. Okay, so let's see. I think the first thing I want to do is build my satellites, right? And it's the same way with partners, RT. I'm going to say RT too. It's the same with partners, Twitch partners. You'll notice people like Quill, big Twitch streamers. You'll notice that those guys, when they stream to Twitch, it goes there, and then you don't see any of their videos from that stream on YouTube within 24 hours. You don't. It's always after that period, because it's called an exclusivity clause in their contract. And anyone who becomes an affiliate or a partner at Twitch has that clause. However, I can stream anywhere else I want to, just as long as I'm not streaming to Twitch at the same time. So that's why I'm here on YouTube with KSP. I think what I want to do with this is I want to build the individual probes. So let me walk you through the big problem I'm having right now. If I open up my Erlem satellite delivery, okay. Now, anybody who joined me on my mission to Sarnas before, when I did my satellite network around Sarnas streams, which were less than successful, let's put it that way. We almost made it, but less than successful. I learned a lot from that stream. Like, learned so much from that, and I'm using that knowledge to help shape new missions and stuff. This is the craft that I've got planned to go to Erlem right now. The biggest problem with this is its manufacturing cost. It's so expensive to make, and the contract to Erlem which is really stupid that it only pays us this much. But the contract to Earlham is only paying us $742,000. We got an advance already, and I could just cancel this and say I don't want to do this mission anymore, but I kind of want to go to Earlham. I kind of want to see it, you know? I don't know if I necessarily need a network around Earlham, but I don't know. Like, I kind of want to try it and see if we can do it, right? So that's that. So what I want to do is I need to send these up there, but the problem is Earlham is really far away. Like, it's further away than Sarnus, which means to power all these probes, there's two problems. One, we can't use solar. Like, solar power is just not going to work because, like, it's really, really far away from the sun. And on top of that, we need a really powerful dish to reach Kerbin. So in addition to not being able to generate a whole lot of power, we also are going to be using more power, which creates kind of a bad problem. So my solution to this is the cop-out solution, and that is to utilize RTGs. But to utilize RTGs, which is what I've got installed here, I've got 3 RTGs underneath a row of 8 RTGs. To utilize RTGs means an incredible amount of expense. Like, it's super expensive because these things are really expensive. But if I utilize RTGs, what happens is, let me pull this off. This ends up being what the satellite would look like. Wow, I got hair on my mouth, weird. This ends up being what the satellite will look like. The big dish on the top, this is useful for communicating with Kerbin, but it uses a lot of juice. Like 6 electric charge per second juice. So it's really powerful. It gets the job done, but it's not going to work for us if it's going to use too much power. So that's the part I'm struggling with there. In addition to that, though, this is just the relay. All the other satellites need to do their jobs too, and it needs to communicate with this relay. The problem is that our omnidirectional antennas are not powerful enough to reach this satellite from everywhere, which means we'll kind of need to, it'll need to relay off of other satellites, which is fine, but I want to make sure, above all else, no matter what, that I can control any satellite at any time, aka having something pointed to active craft. So I need some more dishes, and that's what these dishes are for. They have specific purposes. One is going to point, this one is going to point towards one of the moons, and towards one of the moons. That way, these dishes at all times are communicating with the other three bodies, as well as Earlham, which is what this is going to be orbiting around. So that's taken care of. And if you look at Ampere, take a look at the part list for Ampere, you can see that we're going to use we're generating 8.75, and we're going to use 8.71. That's with no solar panels at all. This is constant, always on power. We're going to generate 8.75 and consume 8.71. So that's fine. And actually, with that being the statistic, I can probably get rid of, like, this. I can probably dump one of these batteries because it's not really vital anymore. But now I got this problem here, which, like, I don't like the look of, so I'm going to probably just do it again anyway. Guess, whatever. Batteries? I don't think it's the 1K, is it? It is the 1K. Right. Well, whatever. It's fine. So that takes care of our power consumption for this satellite without relying on solar. Fantastic. Biggest problem is the cost for this. This is already $250,000. Just this one satellite is already $250,000. And we're only getting $750,000 for this contract. So I can't send all these up there. It's just too expensive. Now all of these only adds another $250,000, but none of these have RTGs on them yet. And so, like, what I would like to do, I think, is I need to scale this operation down. I need things to be a lot smaller in order to pull this off. And, like, I can't get it all the way there if I'm going to make it smaller, because then I don't have the ability to get it to my destination, because it's a really far away planet. So I thought maybe instead of having this giant arrangement of satellites, we would maybe see about possibly bringing Kerbals there. and then having really small satellites that don't need to thrust themselves at all be like close, like in a cargo bay or something. I don't really know exactly how this is going to work. That's why I'm brainstorming, and that's why we're live streaming it, because then I can bounce ideas on and off of you guys. But anyway, yeah. Simon Calvini, hi man, how are you? Honestly, Charlie, I'll give some free marketing advice. Pick a stream platform and stick with it. You're not big enough to do both. It splits your audience. I know. That's like basically what it is I'm streaming everything except KSP on Twitch and then KSP on Twitch or KSP on YouTube. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like everything else I ever live stream will be on Twitch except for KSP. I don't know if that's smartest or not. I tend to get, put it this way, it's a lot easier to grow on YouTube. Like it's a lot easier to grow your channel on YouTube than it is Twitch, because YouTube's a search engine and you get this recommended function where if you tag your video right and title it right and everything, it'll show up in people's recommended feed when they visit YouTube, and then you can get discovered that way, and it's great. But Twitch is super hard to grow on. Like it's really difficult to grow on Twitch because it's not a search engine. Twitch really caters to bigger channels getting bigger, to where YouTube doesn't necessarily do that. It does it more now than it used to, but it doesn't necessarily do that. And so you can end up with people who really appreciate live streams discovering you randomly when they otherwise wouldn't have if you were to, if I was streaming on Twitch, for example, then only people who are already looking at my videos would even see a clue that I'm streaming on Twitch. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easier to grow on the network that is this biggest social network and the biggest search engine in the world. It's much easier to grow there than it is on Twitch. But that being said, Twitch is, in my opinion, still vastly superior to this and way more fun. And I am going to basically be streaming on Twitch all the time, except when I want to do KSP stuff. So I hope that I get your concern and I agree with it. I'm just not sure I'm ready to take this game off of this network where the audience for the game is. Right. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Carlos. Good to see ya. Bertie McBirdstein. I love your name still. Good to see ya. Can your cargo plane make it to the planet? So cargo plane make it to the planet. That's where I'm going with this. So what I want to try and do is I'm gonna save this right now just because. Let me double check. Yeah. Let me save this really quick. I'm going to start a new craft. And what I want to do is I want to design the satellites, right? I want to design the individual satellites that we need. So the goal is I want to do both, right? Because it's super expensive to manufacture this, and we're going to have to like offset our costs, which basically means there's no point in going on the mission in the first place aside from science, which is a pretty good reason, I guess. It's KSP. But I think I might be able to get around that if I, for example, have my SSTO, which costs $250,000, go up there, refuel, and have enough Delta V to make it, which I don't know if it will do. I'll have to re-engineer a whole new plane probably for this mission. And then we can build the probes and the housing unit and the things for the probes. We can build that on Minmus, send that in orbit of Minmus, go use our plane to go pick that up, and then we end up with basically a mission that costs us half the cost. We offset that cost with the material kits that we've done, and that's how we use it to send it up there. The only other way to do this is to manufacture everything we need to do on Minmus and send it up. But that digs into the material kits that I'd like to use for Eve. So it's a really big, like, I don't know. This Erla mission is a very strange mission because I'm not really sure if it's worth it, but I want to try it and do it anyway, you know? So anyway, that's the plan today, is to try to figure out how to get to Erlem with the package. And I've kind of explained already the challenges regarding power. So what I want to do, I think, is just kind of see what is necessary to build for a basic satellite, and then kind of scale that up to see how much it's going to cost to do that. So if I was to, because remember, we cannot use solar, right? So I'm thinking if we make these really small, we can fit a whole bunch of them on a plane. And then we can do a very similar mission than we did to Sarnas. But this time, way more prepared with the knowledge we already have, and having these satellites be way scaled down. So, for example, this probe, we have to look at every single part and make sure that it doesn't use too much power. So this probe, so far we're consuming 0.05. So basically, this probe is great. It doesn't do anything. That's great. We have no power producing parts though. So as long as this number down here is smaller than the number that ends up here, then we're good. This needs to be smaller than this, okay? So this is a probe. I think on top of the probe, we need a dish to communicate with the main dish, right? To communicate with the main satellite. So what I want to do is, do I need it to communicate with the main? That's a good question. Do I really need it to communicate with the main? I wonder, like, is 5 million... Okay, you know what? Let's try it this way instead. If I take one RTG, pop it here. So this number is now much larger than this number. Good. If let's just kind of offset this a little bit because it's kind of sticking. I don't know why it's like going. You can see through it, right? I don't know why that is, but we're gonna do this. There we go. Okay, then if I take a really small tank, like a really small fuel tank, like maybe this one, a really tiny tank. Let's offset this as well. Yeah. And then using this really tiny tank, which is going to have just liquid fuel in it, we then pop a Shiba. It's expensive, but it has an alternator on it, which is what I'm looking at here. The fact that the Shiba has an alternator on it is what makes it attractive here. So this gives us a lot of thrust to weight, pretty good. So we'll be able to maneuver this and manipulate this really, really well. We have much more power production than consumption. So now let's start adding the consumption stuff on. We will need, I think we're going to need one of these KR7s. I'm not sure, but I don't want to get all the way over there and not be able to use it. So that right there is 0.87 on this. We're still higher, so we can also need an omnidirectional. We're totally going to need an omnidirectional. Probably right about here. Ooh, damn it. Okay, so that's overpower right now. So the question is, do we actually need the dish? Is there a dish that's lower power? I think so. This is 0.82 and gives us 90 million meters. And this is 0.82 and gives us 50 million meters, which is why I chose this over the. But the cone on this is 25 degrees, to where this one's 45 degrees. Probably better to have the 45, right? I don't think we need 90 million. We only need the 50 million. That's another problem, though, is because now first off, the satellite looks really ugly now. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. I'm wondering if there is another satellite that uses less power. I don't see one that's gonna fit the description. Well, this one's 20 million meters. I think this one would work, and it uses half the power. It looks ugly, like I said, but we are under the limit now. So now we're producing 0.05 electric charge more than we're spending, and we have the distance that we need, right? John says, Charlie has said YouTube is his primary platform, with Twitch being more for fun streams. It was. To be honest with you, John, at this point, I'm actually pretty serious about Twitch. At first it was like, oh cool, another place, and they have cool tools. But now I'm looking at these cool tools, and I'm saying, hey, wait a minute, this is actually a much better streaming platform, and I'm much more serious about it. Which is why the vast majority of my live streams are there. I've gotten really rusty in this game. Well, come on for a journey, man, because I'm playing it a lot. I'm behind in the chat, so I'm trying to catch up with you guys. I'm sorry. Dog portrait adds +5 thrust. Does it now? On Twitch, I'm thinking about, for those of you guys who do follow me on Twitch, I'm thinking about getting, I keep saying this and everyone always goes, no, when I say it, but like, I feel like it's getting close to time. I'm thinking about getting rid of GatherBot. It does kind of cool stuff, but at the end of the day, it's missing a functionality that I'd really like it to have. As far as like, the user interface for it is kind of junk, and I'd like it to be simpler. So, I'm thinking about moving to Stream Elements, and there will be an XP-based shop for my Twitch, where the more experience you have, you can spend your experience to purchase certain things. Not like shirts and t-shirts and hats and stuff, but purchase certain things. Like for 500 experience, you can spend that and you can summon the dog portrait. And bam, the dog portrait will now come on the stream for 5 minutes or whatever, a few minutes, and you've summoned it, and you're able to do that with your experience, and it will come and be summoned whenever, right? Another one I'm going to do is for a lot more experience. I have to kind of balance how much experience it costs for certain things, but you can spend experience to get your name in the game. So if I am doing RimWorld, or maybe it's a City Skylines thing, and you want to be a name of your neighborhood or something, you have your name as a district, whatever it is, you can get your name in the game, whatever we're playing, by spending experience and redeeming that, right? Redeeming a shop prize kind of thing with Stream Elements. I like this idea. I've seen other streamers use Stream Elements a lot. It seems to be pretty much one of the better bots on Twitch, and I want to give that a shot too. So I've had that installed for a little bit to kind of get people's experience starting to build, but I am going to transfer the XP that GatherBot has in its system, and I'm going to transfer that to Stream Elements, so you shouldn't lose any XP. I'm going to rebalance it because the XP is not the same. Like, 10 XP at GatherBot's like 1 XP at Stream Elements or whatever. So I'm going to balance it again and chop a 0 off of everybody's number pretty much. But I like that idea more. It takes you guys, like a lot of you guys will end up spending a lot of your time interacting with the bot instead of me. And that's totally fine, except I'd really like to, have the chat not be cluttered by GatherBot stuff during the 20 hours a week I'm going to be streaming, put it that way. I'm going to be streaming a lot in December, so. Okay, that was off topic, but I just wanted to put that in there. What about the Communitron, which deploys? This one? The range is too far, the cone angle is too narrow, and it uses less power, but the cone angle is really narrow, and it has way more range than I need. I just need a little bit more than the 5, honestly. If there was a small dish that used, and this omnidirectional has 5mm range, but it uses more power than this dish does. This dish uses a lot less power. This is great, actually. I can get 2 of these for, now I'm thinking, if we balance this out, right? If I go like, if I go like this, it looks a lot better on deployment, I'll tell you that. Yeah, we don't need a battery because the RTG is going to take care of it for us. So as long as we're not, yeah, see, that's the problem right now, though, is that now we need another RTG. But I do need multiples of these because I need one to point at active craft and the other to point at the big dish. One needs to point at the big dish, the other needs to point at the active craft. Or does it need to point at the big dish at all? I mean, is that really a thing it needs to do? I think so, because the big dish needs to have one of these on there that points to active craft, and then I'll always be able to control every probe. I think that's kind of how we have to do it. I don't know. If I can get things close, if I can get things close enough, then this is good, but like that's the hard part, is getting it close enough. Like, in theory, I don't need this, and it really, now it's overpowered. Like, we're using too much power now. So I need to take one of these dishes away, which means it's gonna be unbalanced. It's not gonna be a balanced dish. It's gonna fit in the cargo bay kind of weird. But I'm not sure, like, how else to do it. It's gonna fit in the cargo bay kind of weird. Might be able to make it work though. Let's see about having this be a subassembly, right? It's a really simple dish. It's only meant for communication. So let's have this. It costs 27,000. We need to make this a subassembly. So let's grab couplers. Grab this really tiny one here. Is that what I want to do with this? Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want it to have like a lot of force though. Like I need to thrust limit this down to like basically nothing. Pretty much, yeah. And then we'll add a... Actually, let's just leave it like this. So we'll reroute this to where the docking port or the coupler is the root part. Okay. And then we'll make this a subassembly. So we'll say Earlham. We'll just say Earlham SAT. So it's a general SAT, right? I want to get science from Earlham too, but I think instead of sending one satellite all the way up there for each body like I did with Duna, that's too expensive. So I'm going to send one science satellite and just move that science satellite around to each individual one, because I'll probably have enough delta V to move it from planet to planet, or yeah, from moon to moon, whatever. I'll have the ability to do that, I think. So this takes care of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just need the moons. I don't need... We need to fit 12 of these things. We need 12 of these things in the cargo bay. But 12 of these equals like over a quarter million. Material kits wise though, we can build 12 of these, I think. That would be almost 5,000 material kits. So that's good. We can actually build a bunch of these right on the surface of Minmus. So if we can build something that has all of these, that's great. The next thing I want to build is the main satellite that's going to ultimately be the one that's responsible for communicating directly with Kerbin. I really want to send a Kerbal out there because the signal delay and shit, I don't want that to be a thing. Does that take into account when you are using the reaction wheel? No, but I have some power storage, so it won't be a big deal. I'm just trying to catch up on chat now. How do you install your mods? I have a tutorial video on the channel that talks about how to install mods and talks about my mod list and how to install it. Trying to install tweak scale. I don't actually use tweak scale, so but go through CCAN, make it happen. Pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, try reconnecting your account. Yeah, it's this stupid thing. I don't like the stream interface for YouTube. It seems like it works better for Twitch, but this stream interface works terrible for YouTube. I'm just trying to tweak some of my stuff on my end. It's not really affecting you guys. It's mostly affecting me because I can no longer see like what you guys are talking about. So give me a second. This thing is being really dumb. It makes me reconnect. It makes me reconnect my YouTube account like every 10 minutes. It's retarded. Such a terrible thing. Okay, cool. Now I can see certain things. Like Robert Thoma's subscription. Thank you for subscribing. If you're watching the stream. This will show subscriptions, excuse me. This will show subscribers even if you're not watching the stream. If you just subscribe to the channel from a regular on-demand video, it'll still show you pop-up, so. Let's see. Charlie, have you looked at Stream Pro? I find it much more streamlined and intuitive than Streamlabs. Yeah, I actually don't use Streamlabs anymore either. I'm using right now, I'm using, well, this interface you see right here is player.me, which is like, so far as YouTube goes, it's questionable. I haven't tried it on Twitch yet, but it's what I plan to use for the Fallout series that's coming, or Skyrim. I guess there's a possibility either one of those things will happen. But if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about with Fallout, there is a Democracy series stream that's potentially going to happen. Whether it's Skyrim or Fallout, I don't know yet, but you can see information about that in the Discord. Your stream has a comma after an exclamation mark, and it's froggering me. Do I really? It's froggering you. Okay, give me a second. Let me fix it. I'm not sure how that happened. It's froggering you. I've never heard that, actually. Never heard that said before. That's good. All right, here we go. There. I've taken care of it. It's done. Probably have to refresh the stream to see it, but it's done. I've taken care of it. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's froggering me. That's funny. I'm gonna DM me a mod suggestion for my project, which I think will help immensely. Okay, cool, thank you. I don't know what you're saying, Pizza. You're like 10 out of 10, do it. I don't know what that was. I'm so far behind. I'm trying to catch up on the chat right now so that I don't have to be behind all the time. Why not just make one large disk that talks to Kerbin and the smaller ones that just go around the planet moons? Because the ones that go around the moons will be out of range. So I need some type of directional thing. It'd be like, does the omnidirectional antenna talk to my stuff on Minmus? No, because Minmus is too far away. Because it's out of range. So I need some sort of directional to communicate with the big dish so that everything can have its connection, basically. And then I need the omnidirectional so that the satellites can communicate with each other so that the one that can see the big dish can relay the signal to all the other dishes. Because you need 95% coverage to do the stream, to do everything. Yeah, I'm going to have to basically live with the fact that this stream interface is not going to work for YouTube because it just continuously disconnects all the time. So I'll just open up the chat manually here. There we go. And there you go. Carlos Garcia, I recommend you play City Skylines. You have no idea, man. Just stay subscribed. Look at the channel once a day. And I think you're going to be blown away at what I'm planning, okay? Like, just that suggestion. Just keep that in your head, okay? Honestly, Charlie, speaking for myself as a woman, I prefer Twitch to YouTube. Like I said, you're only YouTube stream I watch. I don't comment on videos because of the toxic you get as a woman. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're going through there. I know that YouTube comments can be toxic. I know that part, but I don't know about it like specifically against like women. I would hope that the vast majority of the community is not like that for you. I would think the vast majority of the community is like that for you. Certainly my community is, because if anyone does that in my community, I kick them out. I ban them. They can't comment at all. And I've had a lot of people who were, misogynistic and people who were racist and people who were just flat out belligerent in my comments. But they're only that way once, and no one can see them ever again on my channel. So like I heavily moderate my chat a lot. I look at every comment that's posted. I'm not big enough yet to where I'm gonna miss a comment. I will see every single one. Shogun, what is even happening in the stream? Okay, so oh my gosh. So we're trying to do a contract. Let me give a recap for people who might have just joined. We're doing a contract. This is part of my, if you're not familiar with my Conquering KSP streams, my Conquering KSP YouTube series, we're attempting to put a base of operations that has life support and manufacturing, a fully operational and fully sufficient base on every single planet. That's every single stock planet. That's the overall mission. But the contract we have, and we're doing it all in career mode with life support mods and all that stuff. But the mission we're trying to do today is, where is it? Right here. Network for Erlem, right? I need to get satellites to Erlem. The biggest problem with getting satellites to Erlem is power. we're so far away. This Erlem, by the way, is Outer Planets mod, so it's not a stock planet. But we have a contract for it, and I decided to take it because I thought it was interesting. Power consumption out that far is a big deal because you can't use solar panels, so you need alternative ways of doing it. I have a subassembly that I just made called ErlemSat that fits the description for this. Basically, we are generating 1.25 electric charge per second. We are going to use 1.2, so we're generating more than we're using. Ergo, this satellite will always be powered because I'm using one RTG and then keeping it extremely small. So I'm going to put about 12 of these to Erlem and put the satellites in an orbit around the various moons. But I still need a really big dish. And I still need a big dish to communicate with Kerbin because it's so far away. So grab another probe. And I think probably need I need this big ass dish because like it's the only one that's gonna reach. I think. I think. How far away is Erlem? I can't see remote tech stuff in this view. I have to be outside of Kerbin. I really don't want to go to the map because it'll just run time. I'm wondering if I can see it from here. What's the distance? We need 3,821 meters per second to reach Erlem. That's just to... Yeah, that's to reach Erlem. But it doesn't really tell me exactly how far away Erlem is. It does tell me that it will be 12-year journey. So if I do decide to send Kerbals, they'll need to be good for 12 years. No, they won't. They won't need to be good for 12 years because I have a solution to that problem. But still, it's a long time. But if you just came into the stream when you chatted, I was catching up on chat and trying to respond to people. That's what I was doing at that point in time. My soul may rest at last. One of the perks of being homeschooled is being able to watch your streams in the middle of the day. I appreciate that, man. New stream schedule. It's posted to the Discord. So if you're not part of the Discord, link in the description. Join the Discord. But I have a new stream schedule. It's gonna start. I'm gonna start on that schedule after Thanksgiving. So the week after the weekend of Thanksgiving. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. It's kind of weird, but just like think of it like just skip Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and I'm streaming all the other days. Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday will be the Democracy streams on Twitch. And then Monday, I'm going to be doing other types of streams like KSP, like the Mystery Project, which is not as much of a mystery anymore. But it'll be a very consistent time every single time. So Mondays and Wednesdays will be from 12 to 5, which right now, for perspective on where it is in the world for you, it's almost 11 o'clock in the morning for me right now. So typically Monday and Wednesday I would be streaming about an hour from now all the way to 5 hours after that. And then Friday and Saturday will be 8 p.m. Eastern time to 1 a.m. So it'll be a late night stream. So it's like basically 2 days in the middle of the afternoon for me, 2 days at night, and that should give people the ability to reach it, especially Saturday since it's a Saturday and it's nighttime. So should be good that way. Oh, we have an idea. Launch Elu Gulag base. Name Kerbals after some of the specimen and launch them there for eternal banishment. I don't want to banish my Kerbals. I don't have enough of them as is. I need more of them. How many scouts do I have? I need to know that. How many scouts do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. 3? I think I need 5. The thing is, okay, so signal delay is going to be a big deal, right? Because of remote tech. We saw this in Sarnas. It's like an 8-minute delay at Sarnas, so I imagine it's probably closer to like a 10 or 11-minute delay at Erlem. It makes it really difficult to get satellites in the right position. If I can send 5 scouts out that way, if I can send 5 scouts to Erlem with them and make sure I have enough life support for them to survive for a while, and then get them back and bring them back, which is like what I really want to do. I really want to send 5 scouts to Earlham, have them install this whole thing, and then come back safely. That would be an amazing accomplishment. For me anyway, I think that would be an amazing accomplishment, especially considering life support and all that stuff. But to do that, because if I can send 5, that's the minimum requirement for to have a base, right? Which means that as long as I have 5 Kerbals on there, the satellites, once they go out and they're remote, they're no longer connected to the main vessel where the Kerbals are, it'll be instantaneous communication. It'll be as if those Kerbals are controlling the satellites as opposed to Kerbin. So no signal delay, which is fantastic. I can install all these things with no signal delay. It would be great. So that's what I'm thinking about doing that, but we'll see. Clint Pope, I want a Distract Charlie stream. You are doing it right now. Good job. I want to distract. Antenna big enough? I think the antenna is big enough. It is. Yeah, this antenna has a 80 gigameter range. Or 800 gigameter range, I think. Yeah. So this one can totally, this is meant for extremely long range. And so basically what we'll do is this dish is responsible for communicating directly with Kerbin, pretty much. So as long as this dish can get out installed, it can directly communicate with Kerbin, and then as long as all the rest of the dishes can communicate with this, then we're golden all the time. Does the power interface indicate if the sat has enough power while using the reaction wheel? I mean, the reaction wheel is not going to be that intensive, because like you just tap it and the thing starts rotating, and once it gets in position and it's like locked in, we don't even need to worry about the reaction wheel, honestly, because like the only reason I ever need to worry about the reaction wheel is just to get it in its initial positioning. After that point, I just tell the flight computer to just keep it locked and don't do anything, and it will just stay there. It won't rotate at all. And this time, we don't even need to worry about solar panels like having a clear view of the sun, because they're not going to be used anyway. Speaking of which, not going to be used, this takes 565 on consumption, which is massive. And it doesn't have the omnidirectional, so I still need the omnidirectional installed. This dish is going to be hella expensive. This is one that I might, this is one that I might have to just suck it up and build it. I mean, I can pay for this one, because it's probably going to be expensive for material kits too, I would think, but we'll see. As long as you don't go through the dish, it's a little too close. I don't think I would realistically put that close like that. That's better. Okay. So there's the omnidirectional. So far we're using 6.25. Now, if I wanted to, I don't really need a whole lot of battery power, right? Because that's kind of the point. If I do this, it's more than enough. I don't really need a whole lot of battery power though, because the whole idea is that the RTGs are constantly keeping it charged. But in the event that it's not enough with the reaction wheel being used, like you said, having power storage means I can offset that a lot. So maybe we'll just keep it. It gives me a surface to place the RTGs. So maybe we move this down a bit. Now I can actually, if I move this down, I can actually rotate it back up now. Make it look better. That. I think probably. Like that. Question of the day for those watching. How many of you guys regularly watch KSP on YouTube still? I'm noticing, not just on my channel, but on most people's channels that do KSP. I've been in contact with other people who play KSP on YouTube. And from what I can hear and what I can see, a lot of them are seeing the same things that I am, and that is a dramatic decrease in the number of people who are interested in KSP on YouTube. Primarily, I think because I don't know. There's just other games, I guess. There's other things that are interesting. PUBG's taking over the world, right? I don't know if this will help, but Erlem's apoapsis is... Okay. Well, that doesn't... that helps if I know Kerbin's, but honestly, it doesn't really help me off the top of my head. It definitely does help if I was going to, like, do math. But I'm not going to do math. I will say, though, that based on your numbers that you've given me, this dish... may not be a problem. We may need some solar. We may need some dishes that are also in solar orbit to kind of help out with it. But it's okay. This dish is definitely needed, so we're gonna use it. So these two are taken care of. Now comes the fun part: how to offset the power. So, how to offset the power? I can't just rely on RTGs. I don't think I can do that. I could have used this fission reactor. But it's so massive that this dish would have to be massive too. Like, this is ginormous, you know? Like, there's no way I can use that. It's also very expensive. It's $1 million all by itself, so that's out of the question. I think I just need a bunch of RTGs. Like, spamming RTGs just doesn't sound like a creative... Doesn't sound like the most creative of solutions, but it also sounds like a viable solution. So right now we're using 6.25 and we're generating 6. So we're almost neutral on power just by using this. And then these always tend to look weird. I'm gonna just kind of suck them in a little bit. So if I do that, it does work. And then I can take another set and just do like maybe 2 symmetry. Just kind of stick it like that, I guess. And then it's sticking out again like it normally does, so we'll just suck it in. And now we're generating 7.5 and we're consuming 6.25, which is good because I also need to have a couple of those other little dishes too. I need a couple of those these to communicate with the other dishes. So we'll go like, whoops, probably like this. Never go the right direction with these. Now, does this pop out and get in the way of the RTGs? Not even close. Looks a little funny, but we'll deal with it. It's fine. Okay, so that being done, we just need fuel for it now. Just to double check, we are now producing 7.5 and we're using 7.35, so we are good. This dish will stay powered indefinitely. So now, but it costs $250,000, which is like not viable for a single satellite. So we're probably gonna have to build this. Luckily, somehow, this only takes 1,144 material kits. So we can just build this on Minmus. Minmus is gonna start paying for itself really quick. Really quick. Let's put this little tank on there. Kind of give some space between the dish and the engine. And then from there, we'll grab that Shiba. That's going to generate some power for us as well. Now we don't have a whole lot of delta V here. We only have 336 meters per second, which is not enough to get me where I need to go. So I kind of need a bigger tank. Hoping I don't need too big of a tank. I'm gonna try this one. It's bigger than I want, but might be necessary. It doesn't actually help me much. Oh, you know why it doesn't help me? I know why. Hang on. Put this back. Because that tank defaults to liquid fuel oxidizer. So now it should be better. 707. Okay, very good. I think I'd like to have at least 1,000. I don't know if that's necessary. Let's take this off and put this underneath it. So just add a little bit more fuel. That's 950. I'm going to go with that. So this should stay powered indefinitely. Total final parts. The Shiba has an alternator on it as well. So now we're generating 8. We actually need 3 of these. There are 3 moons. Each of these need to communicate with the 3 moons. I need actually 3 of these. So this actually works out well. Right here, I think, is good. Yeah. So this one will communicate there, boom, boom, boom. All of these communicate with each of the 3 moons. I like it. So now total power consumption and generation is perfect. We're generating 8. We're using 7.9. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm behind on this. I'm behind on the chat again, aren't I? This is never gonna make it out of the VAB. Why? You talking about like the stream's never gonna make it out of the VAB? Because I already told people at the beginning it's not. This is purely an engineering stream. So the craft itself is never gonna make it out of the VAB. It's not gonna start in the VAB. It's gonna start manufactured on the surface of Minmus. So I don't need it to leave the VAB. I need it to get off the surface of Minmus, which it's more than capable of doing, so it'll be fine. Won't you need 2 large dish satellites just in case one of them is out of line of sight? Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't need to have an always-on connection to Erlem. I don't need that. I'm not going to worry about an always-on connection because I'm not really going to do anything with Erlem, but the contract wants me to have 95% coverage, and I think it will allow me to do that provided that all the satellites are communicating with each other and they have a connection to this. I only need 1 of these. That means we will lose connection with it periodically, but we will, for the most part, usually have a connection to this. So for 80% of the year, we'll have connection to this. 85% of the year. Let's see. Trying to make it to the end of one of your streams. I just watched Quill and your KSP videos. Oh, appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, Quill's pretty cool. I enjoy most of what he does, but like I don't watch him a lot because I'm trying to try to make my own stuff. But like my time to watch YouTube is so limited that I think it's really limited. I mostly watch, the people I watch are, I watch Chris Odd. I watch, I haven't watched Skystorm lately because he's not really playing anything I'm interested in. I'm not really into, like I was into Transport Fever when he did his first series, but like after that, I'm not really interested, I'm not really digging it much. So I'm just not watching it. But once he starts playing some stuff that I actually like, then I'll watch him again. That's kind of it. I watched a little bit of Quill, and then I watched a couple of streamers on Twitch. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of time to watch people. Every now and then, if I'm feeling like just chilling, I'll put Squirrel on Twitch. If I'm feeling like just chilling, relaxing, whatever, then I'll put him on because his streams are always just, well, for lack of a better term, really slow paced. It mimics the energy I have at the time. It's a really long day or something. KSP isn't as exciting to watch, and that doesn't make moments of high action. Yeah. So like KSP, for the most part, I think for me, it used to be really awesome to watch, and then now it's like I only really care if somebody's doing something really interesting, like something's really unique. So like a long ongoing series like I have, I don't like. It's not gonna go very high in the popularity anymore, right? Because it's just like, until you start getting and doing things that are really out there that people don't normally do, like going to Erlem. That is more interesting because it's not a planet that people have gone to before. But like trying to solve the logistical problems of going there, that's something that, you know, I think the minority of people are going to be interested in talking about, is like how to solve problems to go to a faraway planet in KSP. Maybe not something that a lot of people are going to be interested in. So I don't know. It's a thing. I'm interested in it because it's my goal. But, you know, people choose to do what they want to do. And like Shogun said, most people have been playing it for 5 or 6 years. So it's kind of played itself out now, you know. I want a new space game. Star Citizen looks awesome. Like I might get into Star Citizen, like on Twitch or something. Like it looks super good. I'm pretty pumped to see what they do with it because it looks so good. If they'll ever finish the game, but it looks really good. It's hard to make a bunch of RTGs look pretty. It is. Like I think I've done a decent job of making it at least look tolerable. But yeah. All right, this satellite works. So let's make this a subassembly too. Just gotta double check to make sure I have everything I need. It communicates. Omnidirectional. Communicates with each of the 3 moons. It communicates with Kerbin, and it's fully powered. And it has 1,000 meters per second of delta V. So, yeah, I think it's good. So let's now, whoops, I need to go to coupling. Here we go. Pop. There, this one. Yep. This one's going to be difficult to get into a cargo bay, but we're going to see. Yeah, that's it. So we'll just make this a subassembly. And then we'll grab and drag this down. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Hell? Oh, maybe I just didn't put it in that very small box. Got it. You guys can't see the box. It's behind my head, but there's a box there. Trust me, there's like right there. See the box? Drag here. Yeah, the box. I missed the box. That's what happened. All right. I'm gonna say relay sat. That'll tell me which one it is. Last thing I want to build is a science sat. The science sat needs to have lots of power storage, but doesn't need to have a lot of power generation. It just needs to have a really great storage so that when I want to transmit power, I can transmit at 100% and then recharge the batteries. So I want to be able to run experiments and then transmit them. But so the science satellite will need just a bit more consideration to battery power. So same probe because it's the least amount of power. This probe is the lightest on power, so that's why I use this one. I think after that, probably we'll start with battery right away. Actually, we could probably just use the same battery we did on the big sat. Probably just use this one. It's 2800. This should be, I think that should be adequate. I kind of want to keep it all the same form factor because it then all fits in the same cargo bay, right? It all fits in the same container, if you will. If I make one that's super big, then I kind of mess around with my requirements a bit more. It looks like a mess of RTG, but you do what you go to do. I mean, what else could I do there? I need a bunch of RTGs on a craft. It's really hard to make it look good. Maybe add some Christmas lights to your satellites, make them look better. Use LED lights to save on power. Yeah, the thing is, like, lights will use power, you know? I mean, I can add like one light or something, but the batteries themselves will have lights on them too. At least I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this one, but the other round ones, like this one here, well, that's a freaking huge one. But like this one here, for example, these lights will light up. Like these lights will be there, right? If I use a smaller battery like this one, there's a light on this. I don't think there's lights on this one. Doesn't look like there is, but at the end of the day, the more things I add that take power, the more issues I'm going to have with power generation, right? So, like I'm going to have to generate more power to offset the lights. That sounds irresponsible with my energy. Having no lights is more efficient than having any lights, even if it's LED. So, I think, how do I want to play this? This needs to have a lot of fuel actually, because it's going to be traveling to all the moons individually. So this needs to have a lot of fuel. We'll grab the Shiba again. Okay. Now, satellite needs communication. I think omnidirectional will be fine. And not having a dish, because it's going to be in range of the other satellites when it's doing its science. So it will be able to communicate as long as the other ones can. So I think just having one of these is good. Kind of maybe like that, maybe. Works for me. Okay. So, now I need equipment. Science equipment. What experiments do we want to run? The basics, the temperature, the gravity, pressure, all that stuff, right? Probably want an orbital telescope. Because who doesn't want an orbital telescope? Let's try this instead. Put this here. Take the, whoops, no, put this here. Take the thermometer, stick it on the top. Let's grab the pressure. Stick the pressure here. Doesn't need to be perfect, does it? I don't think it needs to be perfect. Gravity detector can go here, and then isn't there a fourth that looks like this? Yeah, the seismic, but seismic needs to be on the surface, so that doesn't matter. So let's maybe line them up like this instead then. Is that little bit of offset gonna bug anybody? How's that? I think that's good. I think that works. We're gonna go with that. I'm not sure why the gravity one doesn't have a light on it. Like it's got a spot for a light, but it's not lit up. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, we got an orbital telescope. Orbital telescope weighs how much? Or you have how much mass? 0.03 tons. 0.03 tons. This one's 0.015 tons. So we can put this on one side. Let's make this come up like this. Deploy that. Works for me. Let's have it come in a little bit though. Oh, you snapping. Turn that off. Well, actually, it's lined up better with the telescope now, isn't it? Yeah, all right, fine. You get a pass this time, game. Looks fine to me. That doesn't completely offset the torque, so we'll need a little bit more. Need a little bit more on this side as far as weight goes. We could bring one of these micro goos. What does the full goo have for... Oh, wait, what about this? The seismic sensor actually would offset some of the weight. Wait, does this... No, this needs surface. We're not going to the surface. Solar particle collector. This weighs quite a bit. But that offsets the torque quite a bit, too, so I think we're good there. Let's open this up, make sure it's not interfering with anything. Can I rotate you? Like that. Yeah, and then we're gonna pick you up like that. And then just a little bit in like that. Now, I mean, we're not going to be able to collect many solar particles for how far out we're going to be, but... I'm trying to catch up on chat now. I check in with most KSP YouTubers, just never live. I use you all to give me reasons for what to do next. Do I know Matt Lone? I mean, I know of Matt Lone. I don't know him, but I know of him. I've watched his videos. He's one of those guys who plays mostly stock. I think, like, basically almost always stock parts. but he does one-off things. He doesn't do like ongoing series like I am, like an overarching mission to achieve an objective. He doesn't have that going, but definitely good. Like, definitely good with craft building, engineering, learning how things work, but under all stock rules, right? So, like, he can go into a sandbox and travel to Elu, for example, and it's no big deal because you can just time accelerate 8 years in the future and he'll be there. I can't do that. I can't time accelerate like that. It won't work. My Kerbals will die. Multispectral imaging platform would be a good thing to have, but if I can put this someplace where it doesn't offset the balance. This is 0.02 tons. 0.02 tons. I wonder if you weigh similarly to that. If I put you here, it only adds a little bit to the torque. For balancing, if you're wondering, I'm looking at this number right here. It's kind of small on your screen, admittedly. I'm sorry, but I'm looking at this number here. It says 0.09 kilometers, or kilonewton. Sorry, 0.09 kilonewton meters. I want to get this as close to 0 as possible. So the larger this is, the more torque will be applied to this because it's not balanced. So this is 0.02 tons. If I go with, how do I offset you? What about a Gorsat? What do you weigh? 0.02 tons. Cool. So put you here. Bring you down like that. Suck you in a bit. It doesn't really sit on the batteries because of the shape of the battery, but if I can suck it in a little bit, then it will sit. Like this here, it's a little bit off the battery. I just suck it in a little bit, then it'll be good. It's just the shape of the modeling. All right. So 0.06 kilonewton meters of torque is what we have right now, which I think is totally tolerable because of our reaction wheel and the probe. We can offset that pretty easily, I think. So, is there any other science I want to bring though? Not sure. I almost feel like bringing a hard drive because we might not be able to transmit all the science at one go, but we might have opportunities to get new biomes and new stuff, and we want to maybe offload the science into the hard drive so that we can run the science experiment again. So that might be something to do. This draws atmospheric analysis. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I'm not really going in the atmosphere of anything. I think we're good then. Yeah. I think that's fine for science. We could maybe... There's a mini version of the Science Junior. Like this is too big. But there's a mini version of that. It's really expensive, but we might do good to bring that with us. Just to run it once, you know? Micro goo is really expensive too. But we're going to build this with material kits, so it doesn't matter how expensive it is. So if I put like... I think along the bottom here, if I put like 8 of these on here, it's going to look a little funny, but if I put 8 of these on here, it's going to dramatically increase the cost of production. No, it doesn't. Wow, this thing is so cheap to manufacture on Mimus. But I need this to be down here. So we put 8 microgoos on here. We can run a mystery goo experiment 8 times with this. That's pretty badass. It doesn't look very badass. It looks weird, but it's got all the experiments we need on it. Man, Charlie, Star Citizen is, I think, 2 to 3 years behind schedule. Yeah, it is. That's why I said if they ever finish it. Hemorrhaging money. Yeah, well, I have hopes for them anyway. Whether they can pull it off or not, I don't know, but I have hopes for them. You've seen conflicting reports. Run project ever efficient. Ice is confused. All right, I think this is good. I think when is a government run project ever efficient? When it's healthcare. That's about it. It's about the only thing the government can do efficiently. It's healthcare. I've been doing Medicare for a while. It's pretty efficient. Let's do, I think that's it. Yeah, this has all the experiments I need on it. It'd be nice to get that little... Actually, this antenna is good to have, too. We could run this. I wonder if I can... I don't need this many. Just one. If I put this on there, it opens up that way, right? Yeah. So if I put this right here, it won't hit this. The problem is it just added a bunch of torque, so I'm going to need to offset that torque. But I think I can do that with one of those. I need that little one. The little materials bay thing. Or we could put, no, we can't, because there's not enough room for it. Never mind. This right here? No. There's a little, I know there's a little one. Maybe I haven't unlocked it with science yet. But I know that there is a smaller version of this, the smaller version of the Science Junior. I know there is. I don't think maybe I didn't unlock it yet. I'm kind of thinking that's the case. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's the case. Because otherwise, I think I would have saw it already. What if we just do this massive mission to Earlham? What if we make Earlham like a really big deal? If I just send like 10 Kerbals out to Earlham. You're probably wondering, how the hell will you have life support resources for them? And you're right, 10 Kerbals, I don't know how much they would consume, but they would need enough to last them at least 30 years. Seriously, dog? Seriously? Why? Why? Why bark? Why bark all the time? Why? I think somebody's at my door, guys. I need to go and address that. I will be right back. I know. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Oh, my dog, man. Jesus. Was I on break? Yeah, kind of. Somebody came to my door. It was a delivery guy. My wife orders packages, so I had to go get it. Like, usually if I tell my dog to just shut up once, she'll be quiet, usually. But if she's going crazy, and she's walking across the house, because I can hear her above me, if she's doing that, then there's a reason, and that's sort of like my alarm. I don't have like a light. I'm thinking about getting like a security system at my house with a camera that points at my front door in my driveway, and then having a monitor up on the wall above my gaming monitors and my work monitors, gaming monitors, whatever. I can have another monitor on the wall over there, and then I can see what's going on upstairs from down here. That way I wouldn't need her to remind me, but when she goes nuts, then I know somebody's at my door. That's how I know. Anyway, what was I even talking about? I don't know. This is our science. This is our science satellite that we're going to have to go to Earlham. So I think that's all the satellites to Earlham. I think that's all of them. So if I make this a subassembly now too, I need to do the same thing as I did the other one. Just take down the thrust, kill the force percent, kill the fuel. I need to kill all the fuel, actually. That will do it. So we'll have this be rerouted to here and make that a subassembly. We'll call this Earlham Science. All right. So with those things out of the way, now we need to figure out how to get them where we want to go. I need 38,000 meters per second of delta V in space. Do I redesign a plane to do this? Or do I redesign a rocket to do, do I design a rocket to do this? I feel like a rocket would be cheaper, but perhaps not as cool. Less versatile. 30 years of life support. Oh, right. That's where we were. So yeah, I don't need 30 years of life support because I'm going to freeze them. You guys probably figured that out, right? It looks like somebody did. Yeah, I'm probably going to freeze them. And then they can, you know. Yeah. Let's see. That's 16 goo experiments, not 8. It's 2 per pod. Ooh, is it really? I didn't know that. Cool. Well, that means I can do it in a variety of different biomes, and I can do high above and low above. Oh man, that's good. But is it too many now, though? If I do 2, the goo is not biome specific actually. So, what if I take a trajectory that puts me as a flyby around another planet? I could run goo on that other planet too. But how many goo experiments do I really need on that? I might adjust that to where it's. Actually, let's think about that. I might adjust that to where it's. Oh, what's going on with the rotation there? Yeah, just let me get that back in the middle. If it's 2 per. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, 2. So I don't need 16, but high above and low above. Yeah, I kind of do actually. High above and low above, all of the bodies would equal 12, right? No, there are 4 bodies. There's 16. Yeah, this is perfect. We need 16. Cool. All right, we got it. Now, let's see. The craft that's going to take them. I have to decide if I'm actually bringing Kerbals or not. If I'm bringing Kerbals, then I need to have a whole bunch of life support considerations. It'll cost a lot of money. But all of those satellites are going to be built on the surface. I'm going to have to land on the surface of Minmus unless the craft can be built, which I don't believe it will be able to be built. What do you guys think? Should I... A plane will take me longer to do, but it might be cooler. I wonder if I can... All right, let's leave this for a second. Let's go to the spaceplane hangar and see if I can actually get that there. Carton fan, welcome, man. I'm only streaming KSP for another half hour or so. Little less than a half hour. Let's go to Spaceplane Hangar. I say build a submarine to get there. That'll be the coolest. I don't think so. Caitlin says, what the hell can you not post links on YouTube? You can post links. You just can't post links in my live streams. People, that the option, the bot will pick you up and delete it. The spam filters will stop you from doing it. Do you have any inline pharynx that would make the satellite delivery much easier? Might be onto something, sir. Let me see if I can make this work inside the big plane. Can I make it work inside the big plane, I wonder? So, if I open up these cargo bays, this is for my science delivery stuff, which I don't need anymore. I can take all this stuff out. So we're left with the base here. So now, I'm thinking like, this away, refit it with this instead. So inside the cargo bay, I wonder how many can I hold right here, right? That's the big question. So did I just kind of abandon my huge space station? No, my space station's still very much in orbit. It's just got nothing to do right now. In fact, we would have to rendezvous this plane with that station to refuel it before going to Erlem. So, yeah, no, definitely not abandoned. It's still very much there. We would have to refuel this. It's processing all the science. I need to get it running science experiments, actually. It can process more, I just don't have it doing it. Alright, so if I need to figure out like how to structure all this. There's gonna be 12, 13, minimum 14 satellites in here. So I'm probably gonna need some structural components to hold them all. So if I go like, one, how big are they? Don't know. Let's try 2, 3. Can I fit 5 in there? Probably not. Not gonna stop me from trying though. Okay, if I do that, I probably need to go up a little higher, actually. Yeah, I need another one of these. About like that. I think they're too close together, though. I don't think all my stuff's gonna fit in there. We're gonna try and make it work, though. The cool thing about bringing it with an SSTO like this is that if I can get it back to Kerbin, then we get all the money back for the plane, and that makes it really cheap. Let's take the sub-assembly. We'll start with the relay. We'll start with the relay set to see how big it is. It's pretty big. Yeah, the relay set's pretty massive. This probably has to sit in all by itself, unfortunately. Now let's move this over. Actually, if we... Alright, hang on, I got another idea. This is probably going to have to attach itself. But if I go... Are you showing through the bottom? No. Okay. If I take a radial attachment point, which is somewhere, I forget where it is. Oh, where are you? Here. If I take this radial attachment point, put it like right on the bottom. I want it. It's hard to see. What about here, I think? It's not really straight. About like that. So take, whoops. Don't want to touch the cargo bay. Come on, get on there. Come on now, get on there. Oh, you silly thing, get on there, come on. That's the whole point of the radial attachment point now. Alright, well, we'll do this then. Still won't let me do that. It won't let me attach that. Okay, well, we'll get rid of it then. Come on now, I undo. There we go. Okay, we'll get rid of it then. So how to get... I want to get an attachment point down there, but I don't want to use one of these. Unless this works. Which it might. Looks like it might. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. It's still sticking up too far, though. That dish is massive. Which means... basically... I mean, I'm gonna have to go that way with it, which means a lot less room with the rest of the, you know, rotate it slightly. I also have to think about delivery as well. Hold Alt to make it. Yeah, I've been holding Alt. I know the basics of KSP at this point. Let's do this. The problem is it just doesn't do it. There's a point there on the ground now, which is kind of cool, but it's too tall. If I angle it like you say, then I think I'd have to angle it an awful lot to get it, because otherwise it's not gonna, like, I can't close this. It's still gonna stick out. I have to angle it an awful lot. I think it's better to put it laterally in here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's just get rid of this assembly really quick. Can I get that assembly point? Maybe we can I undo until it goes away? I just can't get rid of that thing now. Okay, fine, whatever. It's like sunk into the... It's just an extra part I don't want to have in there, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any way for me to see it. Ah. I hate that. You can't... It's like right there. I can see it, but I can't select it. Come on now. Let me click it. Let me click it. It's right there. Ah, or whatever. We have an extra structural thing that's stuck in the cargo bay and I can't get it out now. I mean, I could just reload the craft. I kind of want to do that anyway, because I think this idea is not quite going the way I thought it was going to go. I'm going to reload this plane. Try it a different way. Open, 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 open. Nope, that's a misclick. Open and open. Okay, we can dump the, don't need the drone. Not sure where that just went, but it didn't. Here. Get out of here. Don't need this. Okay, so I think what I need to do instead is I need to make the big satellite dish, unfortunately, kind of needs to be mounted this direction. But what I'm hoping is that the other satellites can give us a quick rotation here. Get the omnidirectional face up. There we go. What I'm hoping here is that the other satellites that are much smaller can be mounted to the side of it so that we're not wasting the space. So I can mount it over here and over here. If that's the case, I would need these little mounting brackets, which I kind of want bigger ones just so I can see them and like reliably click them. So if I put one here and one there, let's flip this around and look at it the other direction. If I go like this, right? One on each side. Can I fit yeah, like that. Yes, just like that. Oh yeah. We come packing gifts. We come bearing gifts. How many did I need? 3, 6, 9. I need 2 more. Perfect. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Prophet will be back for the RimWorld stream. Cool. We're streaming RimWorld right after this stream concludes. So if you're interested in RimWorld and you're interested in seeing that, you're going to have to check it out on the Twitch. It's right there, that link right there. I'll be there as soon as this stream concludes. We'll be continuing our RimWorld Twitch colony. I haven't streamed RimWorld in a long time, and I'm kind of overdue for it. So I need to move these. These are not offset correctly. Luckily, it's as easy as just moving it like this. Yep, just kind of get it to where the dishes are not interfering. Cool. Not let me click that, and I don't know why. There it goes. Yep. And then one last one. Like that. So our little army of... Actually, I can probably move this in just a little bit more, too. Like, these can probably move in about like here. Get them up as close to the front as possible. Because we got some other stuff to put in the back. By other stuff, I mean lots and lots of life support. Lifo supporto. And maybe our freezing system. We'll see. Okay, so that is good for the dishes. We have our main relay here. Probably could put another main relay and have 2 relays, but now we're getting expensive if I do that. You know? Do you have robotics mod? I don't. No, I don't have Infernal Robotics installed. I did it originally, but then with the move to the new version of KSP and all that stuff, it wasn't compatible, so I didn't have it. If it's compatible now, if Infernal Robotics is compatible now, I guess it's fine. I'll install it if I need it, but I really want to keep the list of mods as thin as I can get them. So now, with freezing, let's take a look at freezing here and see how that would even work. Where is that even located? Is it in miscellaneous? Utility, maybe? I've never actually looked into freezing other than just having them. Just like having it exist in my game. Here it is, deep freeze items. So this cryo chamber can do 1 Kerbal, this one does 10. This does 10. So if we put that in here, Kerbals should be able to go and freeze themselves right here. That's 10 Kerbals in there, right? That's what it says. Now how's the center of mass looking? I'm thinking like probably should put the freeze thing in the front. Because the freeze thing is what's coming back, right? All this stuff is coming back. But these are not, and these are all in the front. So if I put this in the back, my center of mass is going to be in the, like, shifted backwards, and I want it to be as far forward as possible. So I think what I actually need to do is going to remove this. I'm not sure where it's going. Just keep it up there for now. I can get rid of this docking port. We're not undocking anything, so that's not required. We can move this. Be back like this. And we need to rotate it. I always go the wrong way. Like, what is wrong with me? Still the wrong way. Damn it. There we go. Cool. Now we can shift all these satellites to be over on this side instead. Which probably just means I have to reposition them because I don't think offsetting them that far is going to work. Just fine. We got the room to do it, so. So like that. And then like that. Then like that. Like that. Nope. Like that. That'll work just fine. And like that. Like that. Now, the biggest problem I have, like, this is nice. It's cool and all, but the cost of this mission is really high. We're gonna try and get the plane back. So there's that. That's gonna happen, right? And so that will give us back 300K. So we'll still make a profit right now, but like the cost is so high. Well, so far we'll make a profit. I guess maybe we won't. I don't know. Let's get rid of. Let's stick this here. Hang on. Can we even get Kerbals into this? I don't think this can. This is a radial mount. I don't think the Kerbals can actually travel through that. No, I need a docking port there instead. Coupling. Or like that. There. Alright, so they'll be able to get in here and freeze themselves. So if we were to take Kerbals, it would probably it would have to be pilots. Like, it'd have to be... There has to be all the scouts and the pilots, basically. So, Graham would go. Where are all of our scouts at? I did put some extra names in the game last stream, so you might, if you're in the list, you might notice your name in here somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. It's possible. You can maybe notice you guys have a new name in here. Where? I thought I had a third. Oh, Dan, right here it is. Okay, so Graham, Mateus, I think I'm going to say his name is, and Dan are scouts. Then we could put Colin as a pilot in here, maybe. That's 4. We need at least one more. So maybe we bring... We could bring William. William K. We could bring William K. That gives us a medic. And then he might be able to restore somebody as colony supplies. So I have to bring colony supplies at that point. We'd have no engineer, so we wouldn't be able to do anything like that. But the idea is I want people to be able to survive as long as possible with the life support system and not become a tourist. Habitation would give the crew... currently, they would have a little under a year of life support for habitation. But when they're frozen, it won't matter. So, like, basically, we're going to send them on their way, then we're going to freeze them and let them be frozen all the way to Earlham, pretty much. I think Kerbals can move through pretty much anything as long as it's part of the same craft. I think they need a transfer point, though. If there's nothing that they can transfer to, like, if there's nothing they can travel through, then you have to EVA them to get to that pod. What resources does freezing require? Good question. Resources requires a new resource, or sorry, freezing requires a new resource. And freezing will require a resource called glycerol, spelled with a K. Glycerol. I believe it costs 10 glycerol to freeze a Kerbal. I believe. I could be wrong on that. I'm gonna have to look at it. So this will support the freezing of 5, one time. I need them to be frozen twice, so I will need to store more glycerol on the plane. I need them to be frozen on the way there, do their thing, absorb the supplies that they're gonna have that's available, and then on the way back they freeze themselves again and we come back with them. That's basically how I'm gonna be doing that. So these guys, whoever I send out in this mission is gonna be gone for a very long time, but they will be going where no Kerbal has gone before. Further away from Kerbal than any Kerbal has gone before. But I kind of feel like if that's the case though, they're not gonna get homesick. So I kind of feel like we don't need the medic. The pilot's good for having SAS. I need that. All of these guys I send are totally gonna be leveled up big time. We could probably bring, Logan, aka Crazy Man, he probably would love to be on here, and this would give us a scientist, so we could actually bring a different type of experiment. If we had a scientist with us, it would give us a little extra science. I'm not sure it's worth the extra resources though, because I think it takes power to freeze them as well, like constant power to freeze them as well, and if the craft ever loses power, then they all die. So, not like ever loses power, but if they loses power for a long enough time, then they just die. Which is a bad thing, obviously. For supplies, though, we would probably put it at the end of this. So if I went to life support here, we could take life support fertilizer. No. This 3.75 life support tank is massive. Too big. Never mind. How about this one? Better. Right then. Right here. We could do 2 of these, I think, probably. we did that, that gives us what? I don't understand why you're not showing me updated statistics here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it is already. Okay, so that gives us 59, or it gives us 138 days of food, 138 days of supplies, and 280 days of habitation. Which is really nice, because I don't think we'll need that many, because they're going to be frozen the vast majority of the trip, right? So I don't think they're going to need that many. We can go with... The other issue, though, is how do I wake them up? How would I wake them up? Because if I don't have a signal to this thing, I can't wake them up. I would have to have another antenna. I would have to have another dish so that this could communicate with Kerbin to send the wake-up signal, right? I don't like that. Let's get the glycerol stuff in. We'll see about doing that. Where is my glycerol? It's a whole new system, but I got this mod installed specifically for missions like this. It's right here. So this one's good for 3. We could do 2 of these instead of 1 of these. This is 8,000. This is 6,000. No, we want this one. This is a glycerol container. This is 220, or this is 200. I actually could mount this like this on the side. If I go with a structural element here. Structural, this. Put another truss here. I can then stick this right here like that. Yep. And then we can duplicate that. No, don't do that. Just do it the smart way. Actually, it's not really the smart way per se, because this is facing the wrong direction now, but like, whatever, it's fine. All right. You're messing with me here. There. So that gives us a lot of glycerol. I'm not entirely sure this plane will fly. I mean, I think it will. It's carried way heavier payloads than this before. Can you wake them up with flight computer? I can, yeah. But I have to have a signal to the plane in order to send that signal to the flight computer. So, like, I kind of need to have this dish online, which, like, I can't do. So I'm wondering, like, if there's a way for me to... Here's what I could do. I could tell the flight computer, I could put a big delay, right? A big delay on the flight computer. I'll have their estimated time of arrival, right? So we'll send them on their way. We'll have a connection to the plane. We'll send them on their way. Then we'll get them frozen. They're still on their way. We'll put the maneuver that we need to get ourselves captured by Earlham. We'll put that in the flight computer. And at that point, we'll have a timer to the destination, right? We'll have a timer to when that maneuver needs to take place. We can then put a delay on the command within the flight computer to say, do this, but wait this long to do it, right? And so we'll trigger that to happen like 10 days or something before this maneuver. So it gives them plenty of time to adjust and whatever, right? They can then wake up about 10 days before their maneuver. Make sure everything's good, make any final adjustments we need to do in orbit or whatever that way. Because we'll have Kerbals online, we don't need a connection to them in order to control the craft. We can then execute everything we need to do, get ourselves captured, and then start releasing things. I like this. I think that's a good plan. We just have to use the delay functionality in remote tech to do it, I think. I don't see any reason why that isn't going to work. I think that's going to be the plan. So the question is now, do I bring any more Kerbals? How many Kerbals can I bring? Because this is a wonderful experience for all Kerbals involved, right? So how many, oh, we have Henry too. Henry's a scout. Come on aboard, Henry. Bring all the scouts in here, for sure. Colin is in the cockpit. Is Colin the right pilot for this mission? Is Colin the right pilot for this mission? I feel like this is a mission where... maybe. We should probably bring... We probably should bring an engineer. You have a scientist, a medic. Medic's gonna need colony supplies, so... and a med bay, which, like, we really don't have the room for that anyway, so I think the medic's gone. We're not gonna use the medic for this. So hopefully nobody turns into a tourist. The scouts won't unless they run out of supplies. The scouts will be fine, so that's good. We'll have a probe built in the craft, right? I think we have a probe built in. Actually, no, we don't. So we can't be a mobile base without that probe. So we need to have that probe. So let's take the... where is it? Where is it? Control. It's this remote guidance unit here. This gives me... remote command capable. 6+ crew is what you need for that. So we'll go like this. Pop that here. And now we'll be able to remotely control all of these probes once they launch. Which is really nice. Cool. Final thing I need to do then is grab the science probe. And get that installed here. Make sure the antenna is facing the right way. It is not. And now it is. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. Actually, I kind of want to bring some of those materials bays because we can get some science for that. And we're going to bring it back, so that's good. We can bring a bunch of goo, all sorts of stuff, because we're going to plan on bringing this back, right? So if we go with science, if we bring... This is getting really expensive. But I think it's going to be worth it. I hope it's going to be worth it. Science Junior. I actually can't bring 2 of these. I mean, I kind of can. I kind of can. If I kind of do it weird, I can bring 2 of these like this. That's kind of... I don't like the part clipping on that. Maybe we have it on the surface. Build it into the cargo bay. That's an option, actually. If I take these trusses, that's not what I want to do. Please undo, put it back. Come on out. There we go. All right, now if I take this, I think this is a great thing to do for episode 100, honestly. Like, sending a whole bunch of Kerbals to a very faraway planet. It sounds like such a big undertaking. Can I put 4 of these? It's kind of getting in the way of the science probe, but if I don't want to get in the way of this big probe either, because this thing definitely needs to get out without any hitches. Also, I need to make sure that all of these are limited in thrust. Yeah, I need to kill all the fuel in these. It's gonna be good. Yeah. Whoops, that's a weird camera trick. Thanks for that. Alright, just limit all the fuel. I want a little bit, so it'll create some separation, but I don't want a lot. It needs to be like basically nothing, but enough to where it will go poof, but not enough to where it goes out into space. Don't want that. If I take this science bay, zoom into this so I can see better here. If I put you there, Do I have enough room for 2 of you? The biggest problem I'm going to have is getting this out of there. But I can always rotate the craft away from it, right? I just needed to get away from the cargo bay, really, so... if I go... Yeah, this is terrible here. So let's limit the thrust here. We don't want any force. Thrust needs to be down to basically nothing. And give it, like, very little fuel. Another great trick. Perfect. Okay, so I think... I want to have a bunch of these. I think if I go... Maybe 2 is all I can do. Actually, you know, if I have a scientist, right? That's, of course, I have a scientist. So why do I need more than 1? That's the whole point. You have a scientist, you only need 1. You just go out, do it, reset it. Yeah. I know, that's fine. Actually, you know what? We don't even need to do it this way. This is stupid. Why am I doing it this way? Go like this. Go to science. Find the science junior. Pop it here. No, you stupid game. It's not at all what I told you to do. It's like delayed clicks here. Come on. Reset. Reset. Praise be to the undo function. All right, bring it here. There. Okay. Then put this on top of that. Good to go. Yep, good to go. Excuse me. So the scientists could just come out, do this, reset it, bring it back into the pod, and call it good. Like, we don't need multiples. We have a scientist with us, right? I think that's it. So now we're going to have to take the flight computer. Is there a drone core on the plane? Yeah, that's what the... That's what my mouse is basically hovering over right now, right there. It's the remote guidance unit. It's just going to allow us to do that. So the idea here, is simple but complicated. Send a whole bunch of satellites to Earlham for the contract, right? The contract that we have, which is to set a satellite network up, right, around Earlham. That's the contract. We're going to have coverage for all the moons and Earlham itself, because we have 12 satellites around it. Then we have a big main relay satellite. All of them are powered by RTGs because we can't use solar panels. It's not going to work. It's Earlham. Speaking of which, do we even have enough to last for the freeze cycle? We're going to need more power. Yeah, never mind. Hang on. We need more power. I'm wonder what would happen. Like, how much RTGs is it really going to take to offset the consumption of this freezing chamber? That seems like a lot. God damn it, camera. Quit it. All right, I'm thinking like... Ooh, we could do like a space telescope too, just because. We could get pictures of the planets we're around and get science for the pictures, you know? Like if I put one right here, that's not in the way. But I don't know which direction it opens. I think it doesn't open the way I think it does. I think it needs to, I think it will be facing, it's gonna be facing the front of the plane right now. So I think I need to tilt it a little bit. Problem is, if I tilt it the wrong way, then we're really screwed. I forget which way this goes, and there's no way for me to like do it in the cargo bay. It doesn't let me do this, so I need to test it on the runway, which is what we're gonna do anyway. But where is my center of mass? Why isn't it showing me the center of mass? Oh, this camera is getting annoying. What are you doing to me here? Quit it. It's like, it's so delayed. Like, I want to do something and then it does it way later. It's just like refusing to, there it goes. I was like, why isn't it showing me this that I want? I think I need to test this on the runway to see which way this thing opens, but we could totally put that on there. Or we could stick it here. We could stick it, like, over here on the back. That's an idea. But again, it needs to be facing the right way, so because if it opens towards the cargo bay, then we're screwed. I need it to open upwards, right? So if I go like this, I want to test this. I want to test that on the cargo bay, see if it's facing the right way. Let's rename this to Scimitar 2U, not UI. Scimitar 2U. That signifies that it's going plane to Earlham. We need to refuel the whole thing and then go, which is like a lot of fuel. But with these big, massive engines, I think we can probably do it all mostly in one turn, one burn. We could even take and say we could get rid of the parachutes, but now we're like really relying on us coming back with no injuries, like being able to actually land it. And I'm gonna have a lot of kerbals on this, so no. We could have these solar panels out and extended for as long as possible until they become useless. Let's save this, and then why isn't it letting me save? There it goes. Let's see about like how all this stuff will operate and give it like a nice little test run. But I need to know about like power consumption. I want to say all the RTGs from like all of the RTGs that are on the satellites, right? Because none of those satellites are actually working, right? They're not on, so they're not consuming power. So all those RTGs are contributing to power for the plane. So I'm wondering if all the RTGs we already have on all of the different dishes is enough power generation to power the freezing. Like, do I need any more RTGs? I don't think I do. I don't think so. The problem will then be though, if I'm relying on all of those, then the problem is, do I have enough to get back? But the difference is, if they run out of supplies, they'll become tourists. On the way back, no, we're not doing any tourism stuff, thanks. If they become tourists on the way back, I think we'll at least be able to get communication with the plane and control it remotely to bring it back, because we'll have, we'll have a connection with probes. So. Check the ejection force in your couplers, especially for the big satellite. Yep, did that. That's what I did before I launched it out there, right? I limited the fuel, the thrust, all that stuff. So like this in here, for example, solid fuel is way down, and it's fine. It's not gonna go all crazy. I limited its thrust already. All right, so let's see where this satellite, or this where is it? This telescope, that's what I'm trying to say, the telescope. Let's see which way this telescope opens. Yeah, it's gonna open towards the cargo bay, so I need to flip this around to face the other direction. That's what I was concerned about, so we'll go back to the hangar now. Check the ejection force on your science probe. Okay, will do. I thought I had done that one, but I will look. So anyway, that's the overarching plan. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. So I'm going to send an SSTO, which costs about 1.2 million. I don't think we're going to actually use any material kits, because getting all of these things loaded, like what am I going to manufacture on Mimus? What am I going to manufacture? There's nothing I can manufacture there. I can't take all these probes, manufacture them one at a time, and then get them into the cargo bay. No, way too long. Can't afford that. Would rather pay the money, which means this mission is not going to be profitable. We'll probably break even. If we can get the plane all the way back and land it on the runway in one piece, 30 years from now, that would be amazing. But if I do that, then we'll basically break even on this contract. But here's the stuff for the science probe. You can see the science probe currently has basically no thrust, basically no force percentage, very low thrust, all that stuff. I did this for all of the probes already, so they have very little solid fuel, very little anything. Oh crap, that was my mistake. Didn't want to do that. It's cool. No, don't worry about it. It's good that you guys are engaging with that. Like I want to know. Like if you guys think you see something, you know, throw it out. That's fine. That's why I'm doing it live. You know, because I want to bounce ideas around. And I think this idea is going to work pretty well. Pending, of course, the plane actually getting to the station and being able to get 4,000 meters per second of delta V in it from the station, which we can. Pretty sure we can. Yeah. I think we have enough fuel for that on the station right now, ready to go. So that's what we're going to do. We have one giant relay, which will communicate with Kerbin directly, and then all of these. And then we have these here, or the science satellite, which will go from body to body. It has enough, I think, delta V to do that. Let me double check this tank, make sure it's on liquid fuel. It is. This science probe has, if I remember correctly, which I don't know if I do actually remember correctly, it has a lot of delta V. I think it can go from place to place pretty easily. If it can't, then it just runs out of fuel and we get as much as we can out of it. It's fine. Yeah, not a big deal. Science Junior, because we have a scientist coming with us, so we can reset the experiments. Speaking of which, we probably want to have a goo experiment in here too then. We could run these micro goos. We'll just run one of the micro goos, actually, and then the scientist can go pick that up and reset this too. Because the micro goos can be reset too, right? I think so. So all of our reusable experiments can be used, actually. Can we get any other reusable ones in here? Oh, man. Oh, man. Can you imagine? We process science. No, we can't use the microprocessing lab anymore. We can't use that because that's against the rules. We have to. We do station science now. So we would need the particle accelerator and all of these instead. So this is a stock part, which is the only reason why it's in my part list, but we don't use that anymore. Otherwise, that would be badass. Because you get bonus for the further away from Kerbin you are, you get the bonus for it. So it's like, that would be crazy science right there. But it's not fair. We're not going to do that. What else? Is there anything else we could put in here? Goo can be reset by a scientist. Yeah, by a scientist. We are bringing, currently, we are bringing 1 pilot, 3 scouts. I thought we had 4. Are we missing a person now? I don't think so. Oh, right there, here's the scout. Yeah, we're bringing 1 pilot, 4 scouts, and a scientist. Probably should bring an engineer. I think a mission like this deserves an engineer. There's 6 Kerbals, which is the minimum we need in order to remotely control all these things. Who wants to go? You could bring Sean or Caleb. Keep in mind, whoever goes is not going to be, we're not going to be seeing them for a very long time. They're going to be, phew, off they go. And, you know, John E., you'd go if you weren't on Mimus. You're useful on Mimus, man. You're so useful. You're the only reason the base is going right now, right? Your efficiency in managing that power distribution is like the whole reason we are able to do what we're doing on Mimus. Without you, I'd have to have another one that does things just like you. Which, I have a few. So, you're not irreplaceable, but you're very useful where you are. Sorry, man. I think this is probably good. I don't think we need anyone else. We could maybe bring Doug, because he's a yellow suit, the orange suit. I think the orange suit's disabled, though. He's going to keep the orange, but I think it's disabled in terms of like the functionality of him being unable to be a tourist. That part's disabled, but the graphically he still looks orange. because he took Bill's job, or he took Bill's character. I guess the colonists shall remain frozen in time for a while more. So that's the time. Like, how do I unfreeze them? So that's the only thing I'm thinking of here to unfreeze them. The only way to do it is to send the signal with a huge delay on it. Like, I'm basically gonna have to put I'll put the command in the flight computer to wake them up, and I'll have to put that in there. Like, I'll have to put like a 13-year delay on it. Just be like, wake them up in 13 years, go. And then the computer will start counting down and doing its thing, and in 13 years it'll trigger that command and start waking them up. And I just need to wake one of them up. I just need to wake the pilot up, right? Wake up the pilot, and that's it. Don't need to wake up anyone else, just the pilot. And then from there, then we can start triggering everyone else to wake up, right? But the first person that needs to wake up is Colin, because he has to fly the plane and get our maneuver done, right? So with one Kerbal being awake, we can get all that stuff done. And I can wake that Kerbal up. We'll wake Colin up like... I'll probably wake him up a week in advance, like maybe 7, 10 days, 14 days maybe at most. Wake him up with like a couple of weeks to where he can assess the situation, get himself organized, make sure all the power systems are good to go, really do his due diligence to make sure his ship is ready for the mission. And then, he can, make any minor trajectory changes that are needed to be made in order to get ourselves a good, nice capture. And then he can perform the maneuver. And once we have the maneuver performed, then we can start waking up Kerbals until we have everybody woken up. We'll start by waking up the scientist, so he can start running experiments as soon as possible. Then we'll wake up the engineer, make sure that the engineer, which I think we're going to bring an engineer. Let's bring... Let's bring Sean S. We'll send him on the mission. He's got no mission. This is his first mission, Sean's first mission. It's also Henry's second mission. And it would be Logan's first mission. It will be Mateus's first mission. It would be Dan's first mission. It'll be Graham's first mission and Colin's first mission. So all of your guys are making your aside from Henry, everyone is making your debut mission a 30-year mission. You're going where no Kerbal has gone before. Management was like, we can't send our experienced people. They're very useful. We can't send them experienced. And then they're like, well, if we send the rookies, then, less loss for us, right? So we send out some feelers. We got you said, what makes you qualified for this mission? And people filled out their forms and said, I would like to go, whatever. And we picked our candidates from a list of perfectly ineligible people, and off they go. Carry a medic just in case of problems. If I carry a medic, then I need a med bay. And I also need colony supplies on board, which means another module and more expense. Plus, the medic themselves can also become a tourist. So, that's useful. I would need a med bay for them, though. They can't do anything without the med bay. I don't think there's going to be a problem. I don't see any reason why there would be. I mean, we're hauling enough supplies for all of them to survive for how long? They'll have 119 days of supplies. Like, they can consume for 119 days before they run out of supplies. It's not going to take me 119 days to get the satellite network set up when I don't have any signal delay. I can just do it really quickly. What if somebody breaks their legs? Okay, if we're role-playing this, we would totally want a medic. But it's just another body, and it's another whole module I would need to make them useful. And more expense that way, more weight, which means more fuel, which means less delta V, which means all sorts of things. Like, I have to kind of draw the line somewhere, and I think anyone who's not essential to the core mission probably shouldn't go. The only reason we're bringing scouts, really, are because of I need 6 bodies. And these guys are good at going really long distances because they don't get homesick. So if everyone else does get homesick for some reason, we've run out of things. We can't store. We're missing. We can't store one Kerbal or something for freezing. Whatever the case may be. I need to figure out how freezing works, because I don't know if it's 10 glycerol to freeze them or if it's like 10 per certain period. But like, I have enough glycerol. I have 400 glycerol in here just in case, but I'm not sure what the stats are on how to unfreeze them and stuff, but I know that we need power in order to do it. Okay, so yeah, the satellite, the space telescope, that needs to be changed. So we're gonna just flip it, which is not the right way. There we go. Flip it. There we go. And it needs to be centered, preferably. There we go. I'm excited about this. I'm excited. I think this is going to be good. Really good. And our payload is relatively small compared to a lot of other payloads we've had, so we should have a little extra fuel than usual. I don't anticipate hardly any problems here. It's getting back that's the problem. Like, getting back and landing is going to be the problem. But obviously I want the mission recorded, so I'll be doing this off of stream, and you guys will see it in episode 100. So yeah, I'll walk people through this, and so people who didn't watch the stream, they'll get a recap of what it looks like, and they'll be told, you know, link in the description, which will be this stream. They can come and watch it if they want to and see the build and see the brainstorm and whatever. But other than that, I think that's the end of the stream, guys. I think I had a lot of fun today. Thanks a lot for joining me. And this, I might make some modifications to this if I think of something, but I think this is our mission. It's going to be a nice mission, I think. And then I could probably time accelerate a bit and probably start the Eve stuff. I might even do the Eve stuff for episode 102. Don't know. A lot of time being put into these episodes now. I hope you guys appreciate that. Could be a lot more time put into the other series episodes, let me tell you that too. What's going on with the wing? Is that wing different than the... Oh, right. No, it's not different. I saw this, and I thought that this was like going angled back and going back, and this one was straight, but it's actually the same like fin sticking up. All right. That's going to do it, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. John, I'm glad you could make the stream today. Krios, good to see ya. And Reese, thank you for the reminder on the telescope. I actually would have totally forgot that if you hadn't said that, so appreciate that too. Mad Wolfus, your contributions to the stream are much appreciated. Thank you. Douglas Hensley, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining me. William Kahn, always good to see you too. All right. I am gone. See you guys later. Peace. Oh, well, not gone. Go to my Twitch. I'm going to be streaming RimWorld right now. So, I'm not gone. I'm just leaving YouTube and going to Twitch right now. So, okay, now we're gone.